Hey up everybody, my name is Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about a dilemma that I have. So recently I went charity shopping with my girlfriend, right? We went all around the charity shops, went to probably hit up about 15 of them, right? Had a lovely little time going around looking at records, having a look at some of the books that are there. I managed to get a Zager and Evans, the year 2025 on vinyl as a little single. And I also got Shadows, a single, so the surf rock band. So I was really happy with that. She got a few things. And it was just an overall quite a successful trip to the charity shop. Normally when I go charity shopping, I don't find very much. But these were charity shops in an area that I don't normally go to. And so there was just a plethora of things that were available to me. And we were in this one shop, I think it was a British Heart Foundation or something like that, right? And we go in, and we have a look at the records, not really any records that are worth getting. And my girlfriend starts having a chat with the woman behind the till, right? And they're having a bit of a conversation. And while they're having the conversation, I start looking at this little statue. And I just almost felt drawn to it. I was really enamored by this statue. I really liked it. And I was just holding it in my hands, just looking at it. And the little face on it was looking back at me. And it was almost like this bonding experience with this little statue. And the woman behind the till, she saw me looking at him, she was like, "Are you interested in buying that, love?" And I had a look on the bottom and it said £10, and I thought that is quite a lot, but I don't know, I feel something pulling me towards the statue, right? So I bought the statue. Here it is. So I've got this, right? And I'm not really sure what to do with it. She put it in a Sainsbury's bag, and I was carrying it around, and it kept falling out of the bag, and I was just carrying it like a plastic bag, big plastic bag, right? I'm just carrying it around, and it just keeps falling out, and it's made of pretty solid metal, so, you can batter it a little bit, But, so it's durable. But it kept falling out of the bag, and I thought that was a little bit weird. It was almost like it had a mind of its own, and it wanted to get away, So, bring it back. And I put it on a shelf, and I tried to balance it, but you notice it doesn't really stay. It kind of moves and jiggles about on its own, right? So it doesn't quite stay down. And obviously it's a big, tall, lanky statue like myself, and it doesn't really stay down firmly. And then later that day, we were watching this documentary about this lad, and he went up a mountain and he found this little wooden statue type thing. And like me, he was really drawn to it, he was really enamored by it. And so he picked it up, he took it back, and he started having weird things happen in his house, like his cat started purring louder and the milk went off quicker, things like that, right? And then it started getting a bit scarier, and it started like a dark mist was coming onto you, right? And so he got the ghost people in to sort of have a look at it. And they had this one ghost woman who she put on a VR headset, and she laid back, right? Big headphones on, so complete sensory deprivation, right? And there were these other guys that were sat on laptops trying to like doing programming and running simulations or something. And this woman that had the VR headset on, she was laying back and she was talking about, she was like communicating what the ghosts were saying. And so there was two ghosts, and the ghosts were having an argument, right? And they were figuring out, like, oh, it's really weird. It seems like these two ghosts are having an argument. And so I wonder what they're arguing about. Which one's Seb? Which one's Andy? Oh, yeah. And they were just having all these little interactions, right? And they found that the only way to get rid of whatever curse was making this guy's milk go off quick, right, was to take it back up the mountain, do a load of rituals, like setting like rings of fire and then putting the statue in the middle, right, and then putting a ring of fire around it and all standing around and going, oh, mala, and we got to sort some things out and blah, 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 right? So they did that. They did a little ritual where there was this little chain that was around it that someone added on after. So someone had poked nails into its eyes. So they took the nails out, they did a bit of polish to it, and then they put it back where it was, just like that, right? And that, suddenly this guy had long life milk all of a sudden, right? So the curse was lifted. And I was watching this and I was thinking, Jesus. Because this thing was in the room, and I would occasionally make eye contact with it, and it would sort of look back at me. I'd like, ooh. Is my milk gonna start going off quick, right? Because I do buy milk, but I don't buy I don't get through it really quickly. I only have it for coffee and tea and stuff. I don't tend to have like bowls of cereal all the time, so I don't get through milk very quickly. So if my milk starts going off, it's really going to affect me. And I don't have a cat yet, but I plan on getting a cat. And if that cat starts purring like the gale force of that fucking airplane, the decibel rate of that airplane, I'm going to be irritated all day. And I don't really want this to curse me, right? So I've been thinking, I need to do something with this statue because my girlfriend hates it. And I don't really want to keep it around if she hates it that much, right? I want to get rid of it and respect her wishes with it, right? And to be honest, I don't love it either. I mean, look at it. It's a bit tatty, isn't it? I mean, imagine you go to someone's house and this is just proudly displayed on the mantelpiece. I'd have to blue tack it down or sellotape it down or something, right? But imagine you go to someone's house and it's just this, right? And he's just staring at you while you're sat on the sofa having a chat. I just don't think it would be very good. I don't understand why I bought it, what drew me to buy it, I don't know. But something did, and I feel like it has a life of its own. I've been taking it out to see all my friends, right? So I've seen a few friends over the weekend, right? And I took this to just get their opinions on it. So a mate of mine said it was a West African, probably Ghanaian, right? Or Nigerian or something like that, right? I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. So that's neat. And so I asked him, do you think it might be cursed? And one mate said no, one mate said, oh, you're being stupid. And one mate said, yeah, maybe it's cursed. I mean, if you said you had a drawing sort of sensation to it. And look, I'm not the sort of person that believes in cursed fucking items and stuff like that, right? I was watching that documentary and taking the piss out of it, but I don't know. I look at this thing and I just think, you know what I mean? There could be something a bit weird going on with this. There could be something a little bit cursed. I mean, it's a strange thing to find in a charity shop. I mean, there is all sorts of like tatty bric-a-brac in charity shops, but something about this just feels unique. And I don't know quite what it is, but I really like it. I identify with how lanky it is, right? Because look, I'm a tall guy, okay? And this, I could relate to this, right? So I'm just thinking, how am I going to handle this situation? So there's a few worries of mine, right? One, is it tatty? 2, is it cursed? And 3, my girlfriend hates it, right? So I kind of have to not have it around. Like, and I could, but I don't particularly like it either. It's not a hill I'm willing to die on, this, right? So I will get rid of it. But I'm just thinking where? And I thought back to that documentary and like the taking it back to whence it came. And I thought, I'm not taking this to Africa. I'm not going to Africa with this just to bury it in the sand or whatever. No, it's not worth it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it back to whence it came, aka the charity shop. Maybe not that particular charity shop, maybe just a British Heart Foundation in general. I'll take it back to one of those. £10 down the drain. But at the same time, there's been an emotional bond with me and this item, right? This guy. I like him. And I don't know what to make of that. I just think he's really interesting. And I don't get this with many things. I don't form like emotional attachments to objects particularly often, like bits of bric-a-brac and stuff. I've got a can of water from the 1950s, right? And I quite like that, but even that just sits on a shelf. I don't even think about it. I only thought about it for the sake of bringing an example, but apart from that, I've not really looked at it in about 6 years. And it sits on my shelf, so it's right in front of me all the time, but I just don't look at it because it's a can of water, right? I can get water downstairs from the tap. So I don't really have any need for this. I don't really want it around. It doesn't balance properly, right? So, and my girlfriend hates it. So all of the things are working against me here, right? So I am going to give this up. I'm going to take it back to the charity shop. But I just thought I'd make a video just sort of showing it off and just showing that sometimes an item can have a really strange impact. And I'm not a spiritual person particularly. I tend to believe that what we see is what we get. I'm not like a God-fearing man. I don't believe in God. Don't really believe in religion, organised religion and stuff like that. So for me to have this kind of weird spiritual connection with this item and feel like it's cursed and actually genuinely kind of believe that it's cursed is very unlike me. I'm normally quite cynical about that sort of thing, and I would laugh at anyone that said the same thing as me, right? But for some reason, I feel it with this. And I don't know quite how to handle that. And so that's why I'm making this video, because I feel like there's a little bit of conflict in there, an ideological blockade, as you were, between what I actually feel in this moment and what my overall worldview is. My worldview is being challenged by this item in terms of spirituality and things like that. And if an item can do that, and if I can get a spiritual enlightenment for 10 quid from a charity shop, that's not too bad, right? And I think also it just goes to show that if you go through life kind of open-minded and willing to let your worldview be challenged, you can have fun little experiences. Like this has been a fun little emotional, not roller coaster, but maybe an emotional carousel, right? Where it's not particularly intense, but you're just going up and down. It's a nice little ride, right? And then you get off, right? So I'll probably be getting off soon when I drop this off at the charity shop. I'll probably do that on the way back. And yeah, that's really the whole point of this video. So if you have anything similar, where maybe you're not a particularly spiritual person, maybe you are, but you felt a draw to a particular item, as random as that item might be, and you just couldn't escape it, right? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. And let me know what you think of this. If you can identify what this is, right, I would really love to know if it is West African, if it is Ghanaian, if it is Nigerian or whatever, right? And also what it means. There's no text on it or anything like that to give me any information. I tried Googling various things, but like lanky African statue doesn't really get you very much on Google. So I've just kind of got this, and I do find it really fascinating and really interesting, but I am going to give it up. So this little experience between me and you, this is coming to an end today, right? So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of the day, and yeah, do let me know if you've had any similar experiences with any statues, with any weird things, any cursed items, and if you've been subject to a curse, then let me know. And bear in mind that I'm not a spiritual person. I'm normally quite cynical about all this stuff, and I'm not about to become a new age fucking guru or anything like that. I still remain very cynical towards the idea of curses and stuff. And you know, probably in a few months, I'll look back and I'll laugh at the fact that this thing had such a power over me. And it's probably just me allowing it to. Maybe it's a placebo. Maybe it's just the fact that I want this curse to happen. I'm not sure, but something's going on. And I think it's interesting. I thought it was worth making a video on. So yeah, take care, everybody. Bye-bye. He can see you out.